Marc Marquez is the 2017 Moto World Champion, recovering from yet another near crash to finish third at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia, Spain. Closest rival Andrea Dovizioso fell out of third place at turn 8 on the 25th lap. Johann Zarco, who led most of the race, yielded first place on the last lap to the higher late pace of tire conservationist Dani Pedrosa. As the race began and Marquez Repsol Honda uncharacteristically won the start, Dovizioso Ducati team had a small mathematical chance to become champion by himself, winning the race while Marquez took no more than 2 points. Pundits made a cause célèbre of Jorge Lorenzo's leading teammate, Dovizioso, despite coded instructions to let him by. Both riders killed this nonsense by saying they were at the limit and that, if anything, Lorenzo's presence ahead of Dovizioso was beneficial. Lorenzo later said that had things gone differently, had Marquez remained in the gravel rather than regaining control, for example, he would have seen to it that Dovizioso took maximum points. As it turned out, Lorenzo lost the front, and Dovizioso did the same a lap later. "It was good for me to follow him," Dovizioso said. "I could stay with the leaders, but we were over the limit the whole race. We both did a mistake. I gave everything until the last lap, but I didn't have any more cards to play." Lorenzo added, "We were over the limit, start to finish. Everyone has problems." Dovizioso observed earlier in the weekend that Dani and Marc have a better pace than everybody with a used tire. Lorenzo noted that, at Valencia, there are some corners that are not the best for our bike. The Hondas are very strong. We have a good stability on braking, the bike always has a good stability. But, as always, we struggle in the corners where we need to stay for a long time on the angle, and we need to turn the bike. Zarco Monster Energy Yamaha Tech 3 made a revealing remark about tire life. "This morning Marquez and I were the only two riders keeping the used tire," he said. "We were struggling a bit with 15 laps on the tire. We are working on it, and when we find the solution I will get this good feeling after 15 laps." Marquez was able to do 131s in the race for 15 laps, but Pedrosa's time stayed in the 131s until lap 17 and his last lap was a high 131. Zarco made a string of 12 131s, then a mixture of 131s and 132s. Lorenzo managed 8 131s and 12 132s, while Dovizioso's laps were closely similar. When Marquez attacked Zarco near the end, he passed and led but instantly had a Marquez moment. He explained, "When Zarco made a mistake, I overtook but he was aggressive. When I made that mistake at the final corner I was scared because I thought he was close and tried to brake late to avoid a critical moment, a collision, but then I created my own critical moment. But I stayed on the bike." Of special interest were Marquez's remarks about stress. "I was with my barber and she said, 'What's going on, what happened?' because she said I was losing my hair. And I said, 'I'm 24, that's impossible, my dad and granddad still have hair.' I went to the doctor and he said I had to change my approach to races because of stress. But in turn 1, honestly, I lost the concentration of the break point. I braked too late and, Marquez style until the end. Okay, we accept that the Honda, improved as it has been through the season, had pace on the Ducatis and had advantages on this track, as narrow as it is and with so many 90-degree turns. That brings useful understanding. But what about Yamaha's inability to put a rider into either of the top 2 championship positions? How could the so promising Maverick Vinales movie star Yamaha, seen as a potential champion in the early season, be 12th today while Zarco, on a 2016 Yamaha, was able to fight for the win, and the predictable Valentino Rossi movie star Yamaha 5th behind the man from nowhere, Alex Rins, on the Suzuki? It has always been Ross's style to find something in Sunday warm-up. We learned that Yamaha heavies came clumping into the Tech 3 garage and took everything. If Zarco had damaged his A-bike in warm-up, he would have had no spare. The obvious aim here was to return to the 2016 chassis. Vinales has not been shy in speaking of his troubles and extreme frustration. "In Malaysia, we had all the problems in the slowest corner, and in the fast corners the bike was really good," he said. "Here, all the corners are 90 degrees or more, so we have a big problem. We were struggling here on the brakes, and trying to make the bike turn in the corners was difficult." Earlier in the weekend, Vinales had implied that had been to a degree led astray by a wiser head, that Ross's interest in the 2017 chassis, better tire conservation, had resulted in wasting a whole season on a chassis that gave up lap time to achieve longer tire life. The first handling revolution came in the mid-1970s, when it was realized that, in the future, races would be won more by suspension setup than by the golden calf of horsepower. Since then, suspension has become widely understood. The new mystery variable is chassis dynamics, the influence of chassis flexibility upon the two critical areas of corner grip and braking stability. At high lean angle, chassis lateral flex takes over the real job of suspension, with all the usual problems of front rear stiffness balance, with the possibility of inducing chatter if front and rear flex or frequencies invade certain forbidden zones. Just a few years ago, Yamaha had excellent corner grip but problems in braking stability. Engineers worked their way to better braking, but perhaps in the process lost tire durability. The 2017 chassis was hoped to provide better tire grip in the final laps. Just changing chassis at the last moment does not bring with it Zarco's experience on the 2016 with this year's tires. And where have those Suzukis suddenly come from? That team has been quietly beavering away, all but ignored by the press. "We are on the right path," Andrea Iannone said after qualifying. "In fact, I am able to ride easily, even if a few aspects need to be improved, like grip or front lift-up." In any case, in FP2, we worked on race strategy with used tires, managing to stay close to the best. At the end, Rins was 4th and Iannone 6th. Good going. Because there have been times in the past when, reportedly, Suzuki's Motop and Superbike programs had to share a single engineer, this degree of success suggests that ideas remain more important to chassis dynamics than big bucks spent on hours of recursive function simulations on leased university supercomputers. So far, it looks like a chassis either works in corners or is stable during braking. Pick 1. But could a switchable flex chassis be created, operating in two modes? One would provide the lateral flex for high lean angle corner grip, while the other would provide the stiffness for stability while braking super hard in Honda Ducati fashion. Clearly, no team in this paddock yet perceives the whole elephant of chassis dynamics. Each team grasps only its particular area. There's work to be done. Pause. Rider Num. Nation. Team time gap 1 Pedro Sedani 26 Spa Repsol Honda Team 4608.1252 Zarco Johan 5 Fra Monster Yamaha Tech 30.3373 Marquez Mark 93 Spa Repsol Honda Team 10.8614 RINS Alex 42 Spa Team Suzuki X-Star 13.5675 Rossi Valentino 46 Ida Movistar Yamaha Motop 13.8176 Iannone Andrea 29 Ida Team Suzuki X-Star 14.5167 Miller Jack 43 AUCG 0 Mark VDS 17.0878 CRUTCHLOW Cal 35 GBR LCR Honda 17.2309 Piero Michele 51 Ida Ducati Test Team 25.94210 Rabat Tito 53 Spa EG 0 Mark VDS 27.02011 Smith Bradley 38 GBR Red Bull KTM Factory Racing 30.83512 Vinales Maverick 25 Spa Movistar Yamaha Motop 35.01213 Petrucci Danilo 9 Ida Octo Pramac Racing 38.07614 Abraham Carroll 17 CZEE Polbear Asper Team 41.98815 Barbera Hector 8 Spa Real Aventure Racing 47.70316 Baz Lurie 76 Fra Real Aventure Racing 47.70917 Van der Mark Michael 60 NDL Monster Yamaha Tech 352.134 Pause. Rider Num. Nation Points Team 1 Marquez Mark 93 Spa 298 Repsol Honda Team 2 DOVIZIOSO Andrea 4 Ida 261 Ducati Team 3 Vinales Maverick 25 Spa 230 Movistar Yamaha Motop 4 Pedro Sedani 26 Spa 210 Repsol Honda Team 5 Rossi Valentino 46 Ida 208 Movistar Yamaha Motop 6 Zarco Johan 5 Fra 174 Monster Yamaha Tech 3 7 Lorenzo Jorge 99 Spa 137 Ducati Team 8 Petrucci Danilo 9 Ida 124 Octo Pramac Racing 9 CRUTCHLOW Cal 35 GBR 112 LCR Honda 10 Folger Jonas 94 GER 84 Monster Yamaha Tech 3